One decision, one pitch, one mistake that changed everything. The Orioles had this game under control until a single challenge flipped the entire outcome. And the worst part, the pitch they needed most came just seconds later. So how did a young superstar accidentally hand away the game? And what makes this even crazier, this might not be the last time we see a game decided like this. Baseball is entering a completely new era, and it's already creating unexpected pressure. The ABS challenge system is changing how players think in real time. Now, every pitch isn't just a call, it's a decision. Teams have started saving challenges for late innings where one call can decide everything. The logic is simple, you can't take challenges with you, but that mindset is dangerous, because using one too early or on the wrong pitch can completely backfire. And that's exactly what happened here. What seemed like a harmless decision quietly set up the moment that would cost Baltimore the game. The Orioles came out looking completely in control. Right from the start, their offense was sharp, confident, and aggressive. RBI singles from Dylan Beavers and Leody Taveras quickly gave Baltimore a 2-0 lead, setting the tone early. Everything felt smooth. The pitching held steady, the bats delivered, and momentum was firmly on their side. It looked like one of those games where they would quietly take care of business. No chaos, no drama, just execution. But baseball rarely stays that predictable for long, because while Baltimore looked comfortable, something subtle was already beginning to shift beneath the surface. That early control didn't last long. The Pirates slowly started pushing back, and you could feel the momentum begin to shift. Spencer Horwitz got them on the board with a sacrifice fly, cutting the lead and injecting life into the game. Then came a moment that felt small but wasn't. A weak dribbler off Jake Mangum's bat turned into a game-tying RBI single after an awkward deflection. Suddenly it was 2-2. Just like that, the Orioles' comfort disappeared. The crowd energy changed. The pressure flipped, and now every pitch carried weight, because from this point on, one decision was going to matter more than everything else. And then came the decision that changed everything. With 2 outs and 1 challenge remaining, Gunnar Henderson chose to use it on a borderline pitch low in the zone. The problem, it wasn't that close. Replays showed nearly half the ball inside the strike zone. It was a clear strike, and just like that, Baltimore lost their final challenge. In a high-stakes game, that's a massive risk, especially in that moment. What made it worse was the timing. This wasn't a crucial pitch. It didn't decide the inning. But that one unnecessary move quietly set up a much bigger problem waiting just ahead. Now the game reached its breaking point. Bottom of the 9th, tension at its absolute peak. Ryan Helsley stepped onto the mound, but things unraveled quickly. A 1-out double from Brian Reynolds instantly put the Orioles in danger. Then came the intentional walk, adding even more pressure to an already volatile situation. You could feel it, this was the moment everything could collapse. Every pitch mattered now, every decision carried weight. One mistake and the game was over. Baltimore was hanging on by a thread, and then the pitch came that should have ended everything right there. And then came the moment Baltimore desperately needed, but couldn't use. Nick York worked the count and watched a fastball dip just below the zone, or so it seemed. The umpire called it a ball, but replays told a different story. That pitch was a strike. Strike 3, the inning should have been over right there. The Orioles tried to challenge it, but they couldn't. They had nothing left. That earlier decision by Gunnar Henderson now came back in the worst possible way, instead of walking off the field. They were forced to keep playing, and that one missed opportunity was about to cost them everything. And just one pitch later, everything collapsed. With the inning still alive, Nick York stepped back in, and this time he didn't miss. A slider caught too much of the plate, and York drove it deep over the outfielder's head. Game over, walk-off double. In an instant, Baltimore went from escaping the inning to losing everything. The crowd erupted, the Pirates celebrated, and the Orioles were left stunned. Because this didn't just feel like a loss, it felt avoidable. One earlier decision had kept the inning alive, and now the consequences were undeniable. And the worst part, this might just be the beginning. And this is where the real debate begins. Was this just a simple mistake from a young player in a fast moment, or is this a deeper issue with how players are handling the ABS system? Because this wasn't just bad luck, this was a decision that directly changed the outcome of the game. One wasted challenge, one missed call, one extra pitch, that's all it took. And now teams everywhere are being forced to rethink their entire strategy. Because in this new era of baseball, it's not just about talent anymore, it's about decision-making under pressure. And clearly, not everyone is ready for it.